pumped up to present this video to you guys. We are in some massive profits here in Bitcoin. I'm going to be going over exactly what I've been seeing. Also, what you should be looking out for through this whole time, because I've been telling you what to expect and what's going on. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the charts. You're going to see my positions. You're going to see the levels I'm looking out for, because I warned you about this and we were going over this and it was a very, very, very technical trade. So let's move over to the charts. All right, so if we go straight over to Bybit, you can see my chart live, okay? So before these were my positions from before, and I showed you how that was working out and the profits I've taken, etc., etc. So that was all that sort of stuff, closing my shorts, okay? We have then since entered a long on Bitcoin, okay? This position is worth 98,000 USDT, which is like 130 US Australian dollars. Now sitting around $3,000 Australian profit. So you can see my entry was there. I want to tell you why I took this trade, why I was expecting this level, and all the goodies in between, because let me tell you, it has been a very, very, very technical day of trading. And even though I wasn't on the computer for this trade, I was taking it in an arbitrary place in the city of Brisbane. But that being said, I want to show you guys what I'm looking at, what to expect going forward, and my analysis. So you can see my positions here live and what's sort of happening in the market. All right, let's dive straight into it. But first of all, I'm going to start off by showing you what the level I was looking at in the video, which I did like 2 days ago. Highlighted around 108,000. The reason I put it as a circle is because the circle is the zone, right? It's a zone of interest. And, you know, that's pretty much the level we hit. So we're going to go diving straight into why we hit that, why it took that long, and all the goodies in between. So let's open up a bunch of our stuff so we have everything ready to go. So if we jump straight on the charts right now, we can see that we had the highs taken out and then we've since come down and had this giant move back to the upside. So let's see why we had this, or why this take place, right? So if we just start with a blank canvas. If we zoom out and highlight our levels, right? So what we have here, we've got a daily level. So if we go here, we've got a daily level down here. All right, we move to the daily. What can we see here? Okay, we hit our weekly level, right? That's very obvious. We've also got volume of this range. So where is volume of this range residing? Volume of this range is residing. One was here, one was here. So we've rebounded back up into that resistance level. So we might have a little local retracement before we resume up to the upside. In fact, that's what I'm expecting. Okay, but we'll update as we go in the video. The reason I took this long is because it was highly technical. First of all, you had a fair value gap down here. All right. You had very, very, very large level of volume that was coinciding down here. So that's another level down there. You also had a Fibonacci pull, the 6.6 and the 6.18, very much to the T in this zone. So when we reached this zone and I saw that we had power coming into the chart, I took that long in that position here. Stops below there. In fact, I don't even have a stop loss right now. I'm just going to eyeball it and see how I feel about the trade, right? So that was what I was looking at during the time when it happened. We basically came out, had support on the value area low, and then proceeded to swing the value area low, resulting in what we have now, which is a large bounce off support. So what am I expecting going forward? And by the way, you could have been following these updates along the way. I was talking about it. We can see here, which is why I'm in the trade. It's too late to enter now, in my opinion. Other than that, like, it's literally this or that. That's what I'm expecting, right? So price is either going to, in my eyes, continue ranging and then go upside, or we're going to go probably down lower to around at least the CME gap, which is around 111,000, right? And then if not, we're going to go down here for some stronger support. So yeah, very much stronger support, and that's what we've seen. So what can I say, right? What can I say? So if we zoom in, let's remove everything right now. What are we looking at locally? Because obviously that's what everyone wants to know, what we're seeing locally. All right, well, if we just put a fixed range of this, let's just see where volume is residing. Okay, we're trading on the POC. So what you'd expect when you're trading in the POC, if we even pop up our indicators, we can have a look at what's happening. So we had waves. Yeah, we've since green. Okay, it would be normal to expect a small retracement from here. Levels of interest I'd be looking at for potential re-entries on longs. Again, it is late coming in now, but it is what it is if you are, right? We've got one here and we've got one here. Now let's highlight which one would be the best. Ideally, the best long to take would be down here. However, I'm not going to be a proponent of taking longs that have already been hit and I've already given levels out in the previous content. So you can see here, my profit is going down, but I'm not taking profits because I do believe we are going higher. We might retrace lower to somewhere around here or here, but I do think we're going higher, and I will change my opinion based on the data that presents, because that's how trading is. You got to go level by level, right? And I don't really care to take profits early because, like, why do that if you think it's a really good trade? It just doesn't make any sense, okay? So, key levels to be looking at. Well, obviously, we're now at the POC resistance. If we're going to look at locally what we're seeing on the 5-minute chart, what we've seen is price come up, take out these highs, and now we're trading sideways. We also have small resting liquidity right above these highs here. Now, I don't know how much will be resting there. What we can see, if we pull a bit of fibs from here, a bit of volume from here. So one positive thing right now is volume. We are sitting above volume, actually, and you can see price is just bouncing off that, okay? So you could view that as very much support. You got a single print range here. Single prints means there's not much volume. So if we do hit this, you'd expect it to go higher. And then we've got support at 112, 113, which is more major. So what we can also see here, if we would just eyeball this with the trend line, we can see that makes sense to me. Yeah. Locally, people are going to draw lines here and say all sorts of things. I just think we've hit major support on the chart, and I think it's good to go long here. Obviously not now, obviously way from down lower, right? Anyway, what I think will be very much value if we do start to go lower is going to be a anchored VWAP. So we might see this anchored VWAP start to move up as price trades. So let's say we do something like this. Well, it might end up being something in around this region, right? Ultimately, you don't know what's going to happen now that we've hit a major support. The base case would be upside. That's why I'm in my positions and not taking any profits on my trades. If we're to zoom out on the indicator metrics and the stochastic, let's have a look at what we're seeing here. 4 hour has a bit of room to run up. Let's see the daily. Daily, it's looking like more something like this. If you were to draw it and draw some sort of comparison, you'd be looking at it something that looks akin to this, right? So you come down and race around, and then you end up mooning again, right? So it's obviously not a correct methodology. However, you know, it's not a bad tool to use. Now, I'm just going to look at what I'm seeing here. What I think traders are going to be looking at now is going to be this pattern. And I'm going to go by traders because I think traders are obviously retail, right? So let's go candle closes. All right. I think this pattern is going to start circulating online decently soon. People are going to be looking at this and thinking potentially this might happen, which means if this were to be correct, you'd expect a breakout to take you to 130, okay, if that were to happen. 130 for that specific trade. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing in the chart right now. Let's move over to the order flow so we can get an idea of what actually took place. Guys. You don't understand how powerful this is. Check this out. That's 40 million. Do you hear me? 40 million shorts entered the market at the low. That is what you want to see for a low to be put in. 40 million positions entered at the low. Do you hear me? Well, do you hear me right now? That means, and they haven't all closed yet, they're going to have to buy back. That's going to be fuel to the fire. We're going higher. Just as I said, we were dropping lower in the last video. I couldn't have said it any better. Where was it? I'm going to have to go to it, guys. I'm going to have to go to it. Ultimately, I want to be out of this time zone into somewhere where I can actually now have a really good day. And let's blow this candle out because we're going to drop lower, guys. There we go. We dropped lower. That was approximately around here or here, I think. So, order flow is saying, guys, this is bullish because they're going to have to buy back. That's the power of this trade, right? They're going to have to buy back. The higher we go, they're going to get liquidated. So, we really want to see price, just depending on where the aggregate is, which I can check. if we were to look at this on an aggregate basis, so we're going to seeing something like this. Market TPO. The average would probably be in the middle. So let's say the average position short is around, let's say it's around here. I think if we can get price to around 113, that would like secure us in legendary status in terms of we're going to be blasting higher, because these guys would have to then buy back on a massive amount and a massive basis. So we even had a large short amount here, right? So short, if we can just claim above these highs, I think we got some massive potential to be absolute mooning and quite aggressively. So I'm going to take it step by step for now. We're seeing some local retracement here now, and I'm not going to fear this whatsoever. Guys, you got to have conviction when you're in these trades, right? That otherwise I'd literally be closing this trade. Oh, I'm down. I've lost $400 of what I was just when I started the video. Like, so people be freaking out about that. I'm not freaking out. We could even drop here or here. I'm not going to freak out. I think this trade has a lot of potential. Yeah, you just got to be patient and hold, right? Unless all these shorts are miraculously right, coming into the major support zone, which is like, come on, is that really going to happen? I don't think so. Anyway, guys, let me flip this back to my face. I hope this video made sense, and I think we're due for a pump. I think we're going to be going high. I think I'm going to be printing on this trade. Business flights to Dubai. Cheers to that, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next Isaac Finance upload. For now, catch you later.